Hi, I want to do a video to talk about my experience of postnatal depression and anxiety. I want to do this video to improve understanding of the illness, and if I can give hope to somebody out there who is really struggling at the moment. I was diagnosed with severe postnatal depression and anxiety after the birth of my daughter in September. This took me and everybody by surprise, as all I'd ever wanted was a family. When she was arrived, it was like a light switch, something changed. I was totally detached from her. I didn't want her anywhere near me. It was obvious for everyone to see. I would beg and I would cry for my mum and my husband to take her away from me. I decided that I was going to take her to the fire station and I was going to leave the country. In my head, that seemed like a really normal thing to be thinking. It got so bad that I decided it was me or her, one of us had to go, and I became really suicidal at that point. I think one of the worst things to do with the illness was the inability to sleep. For the first 3 weeks, I was unable to sleep, not even a wink. I was just overcome with fear and anxiety all the time. At night time, I felt like the walls were coming in on me and I couldn't breathe. All my mum could do was hold me and cradle me while I rocked and screamed at night time. Because of this, I was unable to do the night feeds, and my husband had to take the brunt of these for the first 4 months. I felt so guilty because of this, that I was a mother and I was unable to do the night feeds. I was ashamed and embarrassed of myself about the way that I was feeling. Once the mornings came, I would lie in bed and I would keep my eyes closed tight. I didn't want to open them. I didn't want to see my daughter. I didn't want to face the fact that, it was another day of being a mother. Something that at that point of time I didn't want. Another thing that really affected me was going out. I was unable to even walk to the end of my road without having a panic attack. I'd gone from being a sociable, outgoing person to, being a prisoner in my own house. I just didn't want to leave the house with her. I didn't want anyone to see me. I thought if I left the house with a baby, then I'd have to admit to the fact that I was actually a mother now. I was terrified of my daughter, scared to hold her, to look after her. She terrified me. Everything about her really scared me. I was just filled with hopelessness and fear and anxiety and dread 24/7. I was really lucky though. I had an amazing health visitor and an amazing midwife who saw my change in state straight away, saw the fear in my eyes when my daughter was passed to me, and after a few emergency trips to the doctors, I was referred to the perinatal psychiatric team in Nottingham. After an assessment, I was seen on a weekly basis by a psychiatric nurse, a doctor, a support worker, a midwife, and my health visitor. Through a balance of CBT, mindfulness, and importantly medication, I started to feel like Jenna again, something that I never thought that would ever happen. I was really lucky though. It's a postcode lottery. In Nottingham there is a psychiatric team. Along with this, there's also a mother and baby unit where I was almost admitted to. It's hospitalised treatment where your baby is allowed to stay with you. Unfortunately, there's only about 14, 15 of these in the country. For women who aren't in the right postcode, they can be cared for by doctors who aren't specialised in maternal mental health, or worst of all, they could be hospitalised in a psychiatric ward where their baby wouldn't be allowed to be with them, and this would have a massive effect on their recovery. Improving our teams for the perinatal psychiatric team and more wards is something that I really feel passionate about. Getting the right care as soon as you can, getting the right treatment as soon as you can really aids recovery. Because of this wonderful support I had, after 4 months I was able to do some of the night feeds. I was able to share the room with my daughter, something that I never thought that would happen. After 4 months, I could leave the house confidently by myself and actually enjoy it. And sadly, but good after 4 months I was able to turn around to my daughter and say, I love you, and actually really mean it from the bottom of my heart. I was lucky for having the support and being in the right team. But my main thing that I want to say is to anyone out there who is watching this video, that if you are struggling at the moment, that you will get there. It is a journey, but with the right treatment, the right care, the right medication, you can get there. I still have my up and down days, but I have more up days than I do down. That you will get there, that keep going, and one day you will wake up and you will enjoy being a mum. Don't give up. I got there. You can too.